Good evening. Benedicta Kweku is my name. In our previous lesson, we talked about rank scales and rank shifts. So today, we are starting with morpheme as our main topic for the day. In today's lesson, we shall look at the introduction to morpheme, the type with some examples, and some application questions. In this section, we shall define the meaning of morpheme and also identify some of the type of morpheme. Our learning objectives. By the end of this section, you shall be able to identify morpheme, define morpheme, explain the concepts free, bound, full, non, root, and stem morpheme. Now let's start. The concept of morpheme. Basically, there are three ways to study languages. One way is to study the way in which meaning is derived. This is called semantics. We can also examine the phonology of the language, in which cases we take a look at the sound sequence in the language. Finally, one can study the grammar of the language, the structure of the phrases and the sentence of the language, and the rule governing them. The morpheme, which will be the focus in this unit, is an aspect of grammar. Morpheme. A morpheme is the smaller meaningful unit in a language. A morpheme is not identical to a word. The main difference between them is that a morpheme sometimes does not stand alone, but a word by definition also stands alone. A word may be a morpheme, but a morpheme may not be a word. Example: the book is mine. For morpheme. I am playing a good game. 7 morpheme. So you divide them: I plus am plus play plus ing, a good game. Classification of morphemes. Morphemes has been classified into several types. These include prefix, suffix, full, empty, free, bound, inflectional, and derivational morpheme. Morpheme can also be classified into two types in terms of their capacity of occurring alone. These are free morphemes and bound morphemes. Free morphemes. Free morphemes can stand by themselves and either tell us something about the word, content morpheme, play a role in the grammatical morpheme. Example: man, pizza, run, and happy are instances of free lexical morphemes, whilst and, but, the, and to are examples of free morphemes that have grammatical functions. Bound morphemes. These are some morphemes which can not stand on their own, but is typically attached to another morpheme, as we have in a and ed. This kind of morpheme is called a bound morpheme. Other example: sit plus ing, lead plus ed, work with s, and clap with ed. It comes in two varieties: inflectional and derivational morphemes. Inflectional morphemes. An inflectional morpheme do not change the class of a word. There might be a change in meaning or sense, but not the grammatical category. Or, for example, the churches are very tall. You can not see the churches is very tall. Let us take a look at verb. Consider the following: excite plus ing, which is exciting. Excite is a verb. Exciting is also a verb. Both excite and exciting are verb. Exciting is the progressive form of excite, obtained by adding the ing morphemes to the verb. 1. Past tense morpheme: hate plus ed, which is hate. Like plus ed, liked. Inflectional morpheme. Welcome to the session 3. In this session, we shall continue to examine inflectional morpheme. We start in the previous session. Objective. Okay, so class, we are going to look into inflectional morpheme. Welcome to the session. This session is 3 in 1. We shall continue to examine inflectional morpheme. We start in the previous session. Okay, so our learning objectives for this session: by the end of this session, you should be able to identify inflectional morpheme in noun, adjective, and adverb, and give some example of inflectional morpheme in the categories. Now read on. Please read on. Nouns. So let me give you some meaning of nouns in inflectional morpheme, so that when you go home or when you are alone, you can do some research about it. Then you get the meaning well. So now, nouns are usually marked either for Jesus. Nouns are usually marked either for countable and non-countable nouns, may either be singular or plural. Plurality in countable nouns is realized either by a plural noun s or by a zero morpheme. Singular and plural. Okay. Boys, so the plural is boys. The boy is ill. The boys are ill. Sheep, sheep. I bought a sheep. I bought 3 sheep, which is the plural. Adjective. About morphemes. Adjectives are often inflected for comparison. We all learn the following in the primary school: positive comparison, superlative, Derivational morpheme. So we are continuing. So when you go home, then you learn more about the inflectional morpheme. So let's do the derivational one. So derivational morpheme. Derivational morpheme do not directly involve in the word in other syntactic relation with other constituents of sentence the way inflectional morpheme do. The grammatical relevance of derivational morpheme lies principally in the word that results from derivational. In other words, derivational words perform the same grammatical function and maintain the same syntax relationship with the other constituents of the sentence without effecting any change to any of the other words in the environment. Derivational morpheme. They are best classified according to the class or classes of the underlying forms, a root or already derived from, to which they may be applied in the classes of the resultant words. Noun. Noun can be derived from verb by the adding of certain morpheme to the base. For example, verb plus a, work plus a. So worker, arrangement, employee, relevation, assistant. So class, this is the end of the class. So this is the try work. Explain the term morpheme in your own words. State some example. So if you have any question, go to my description box and give me the question and I'll answer. And if you like my work, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like it. Thank you for listening.